One of the muscles that helps keep your shoulder blade tight up against your rib cage is called your serratus anterior. This is a muscle that you might see on a fighter or a boxer or a very trim person, and they look like little fingers along the side of their rib cage. And what they do is they grab the bottom angle of the shoulder blade and they pull it tight to the rib cage, so it keeps it suctioned on there. If that muscle is weak, then that bottom angle starts to tip away and we see a shoulder blade that tips forward, or it might flare out to the outside a little bit. So what we want to do is strengthen that muscle so it stays tight against your rib cage, and that's going to create a stable foundation so that way the rest of your arm can function better. So one of the exercises we do for that is we can lay down on our back, we put our arms straight up in the air, and then we just reach up as high as we can, lifting from the shoulder blade, and then reach it back down. And it's just that motion of pistoning the shoulder up and down. I'm only moving a couple inches, but what I'm doing is I'm using those little muscles on the side here that attach to my shoulder blade and my rib cage, and I'm pulling that shoulder blade tight to the rib cage and relaxing it. As I get better at this, I can add a weight. I just grab a weight in this hand and I just punch up towards the ceiling and back down. Now this exercise, this muscle doesn't create a lot of power necessarily, but it is an endurance muscle. So we want to do high repetitions with this because we want that shoulder blade to be able to stabilize for prolonged periods of time, whether it's when we're lifting or doing a push-up or whatever activity it is we're doing. So we want to think about doing repetitions more towards 15 per set. So you can start with 5 or 10 or whatever is comfortable for you, but we want to start building up towards 15 repetitions, 2 sets. It doesn't need to be really heavy weight. It should progressively increase, but our goal is to create endurance out of that muscle. So that way, as we work out more, that muscle doesn't fail and that shoulder blade doesn't start to wing or tip or get away from that rib cage.